They call him Seatin, the man of legends.
Hey guys, what is up? It is Seatin here. Hello and welcome to an exclusive first look at the new warrior healing soul, the Liberator. Now, this is one of the new souls coming in at 2.7, and it's one of the expansion souls, but Trian's philosophy is, if it's ready, why not release it? However, this soul is almost ready. I mean, they're kind of tweaking about with it a lot, so anything in this video may not be finalized or it may not go live. A lot of stuff is changing. I mean, literally, like a couple of days before I posted this video, all the abilities had different icons. So I logged on today and I was like, shit, all the abilities have different icons. I have no idea what to press. So it took me like by the time I was recording this video, because I didn't have long at all, I was very unfamiliar with the icons, and I start off in this video being very newbie with the healing. But then I get a lot better. So you're going to see that later on in the video when I'm healing Triumph of the Dragon Queen solo, and it's an achievement I'm fairly proud of for playing this class for like an hour and managing to solo heal that on my live gear, which is like just above raid tier 1. So anyway, this video is going to be covering sort of the basics of warrior healing, telling you a bit about the soul, explaining how it all works, and really just showing off the soul, because it is really awesome. It's a really fun to play soul, and I think that definitely needs to be recognized, because it's really awesome, and hopefully by doing this video, I'm going to show off how awesome it is. So we're going to dive straight in. So the kind of cool thing and slightly different thing to any other soul for warriors is there's basically a set of AoE heals and a set of single target heals. Now the single target heals kind of mirror the AoE heals in the sort of functionality that they have and the way that you play them. Like for example, basically there is a single target heart that you have to keep 3 stacks up of, and it stacks up to 3 times, and ideally when you're single target healing you want to keep 3 stacks of that up. And the same for AoE, there's an AoE heart that stacks up to 3 times, and you want to keep 3 stacks of that up at all time for max AoE HPS. Now there's also a bursty single target heal, and there's also a bursty AoE heal. Both have no cooldowns, and they're sort of your main spam abilities depending on what you heal. And then sort of moving on to the finishers, there is a big AoE heal, and there's also a big single target heal. So in a way, they kind of mirror each other fairly directly, the single target and AoE healing playstyle of the warrior. So it's quite different to any other class. You're not going to find yourself doing a very different rotation. It's kind of the same rotation, but with different buttons. Now, bearing that in mind, there are certain AoE and single target healing abilities that sort of aren't mirrored in the opposite one. I mean, there are some sort of unique ones for AoE healing and some unique ones for single target. For example, there is something called Quick Remedy, which is a really big heal that instantly awards 3 attack points, and this has a 15-second cooldown. And Talented, it also heals for the full amount it healed over 12 seconds. So that's a very nice bursty heal you can chuck on a tank or a raid member very quickly, maybe when they're about to die, and it will heal them for a large chunk and then keep on healing them for the next 12 seconds. So that is pretty damn awesome. Then you have an AoE heal, which is a channeled ability called Ameliorate. Now I have no idea how to pronounce Ameliorate. I'm guessing here, guys, so cut me a bit of slack. So this is basically a very strong heal, which heals all your party members for a fairly large amount every second for 3 seconds, and this also has a 15-second cooldown. So they're different abilities, but they share a kind of similar cooldown and functionality that they have. They're both strong heals on a 15-second cooldown. One covers single target, one covers AoE. So as you can see, when the abilities aren't exactly the same, they do kind of mirror each other in the functionality and purpose that they serve. So it's fairly easy to get to grips with a warrior healer. Like, the most challenging part of healing, and I'm sure any experienced healer will tell you this, is knowing the fights and knowing when the damage is coming, how to handle the damage, what to dispel, and how you can deal with that using your various abilities and cooldowns. And that's something that essentially just comes with practice. Now, one of the very awesome things about Warrior, and I probably have said awesome far too much in this video already, is the fact that it is just incredibly mobile. Like, you don't have to stand still to cast anything at all. Like, I can't think of one ability, or I haven't found ability yet, that requires you to, like, stand still and cast this ability. You're constantly moving around, and you have the flexibility to do that without seeing some sort of significant impact on your healing. Now, a lot of people have been talking about warrior healing as kind of like it being a chloromancer. Now, I'm really sorry to inform you guys, but like, if you're really focused on warrior healing, it doesn't really do a lot of damage. Like, the best healing rotation does come from purely focusing on HPS. It does have damaging abilities, and one of them, mass suppression, looks ridiculously cool. You like fire a kind of trail of dust in front of you, and it's really awesome looking, but it doesn't deal any damage, and it doesn't really serve any functionality. However, you will see me use it like crazy in this video because I love the feel it has when you let one off. And do you know what I think would be really cool? And I don't know if you're watching this, Vlad, somehow make that cloud of dust that you're firing off heal people. I'm not asking for a tremendous amount. Maybe, I don't know, like add in some cooldown. This is, sorry guys, I'm getting a bit off topic, but this would be really cool if you could have like a cooldown that has like, I don't know, 30 seconds, and it's a big AoE cooldown, and it causes your next mass suppression or dust cloud or whatever you want to call it to heal everyone it hits. So basically you could aim this at players and then it would heal them for X amount. That'd be pretty cool, and I think it'd add a nice bit of flavour to the class. I don't want to like every cloud to heal people. I just like it to be a cooldown, an option to do. That would be cool, and I believe that should be fairly doable. You know, it doesn't sound terribly unbalanced to me, so I think that'd be a fun thing to do, and it would add a further element of skill, because you'd have to, you know, aim the dust cloud and then fire it off at party members, and that would be good fun. So that's just a bit of initial feedback on it. Remember guys, this is PTS, this is soul testing footage that you're seeing here. Nothing in this video is final, and won't be final for another month or so. Also, as a Liberator, you have a single target damaging ability called Persecute. Now, I don't use this in the video at all, because to me it's fairly worthless. It doesn't really heal for anything whatsoever. It's fairly negligible, and the damage sucks, and it doesn't even look cool. You kind of just swing your weapon at the enemy from range, and doesn't look cool, doesn't feel cool. Unlike mass suppression, which is fucking awesome and feels brilliant when you're firing them off. It heals for something like, I believe it's 6% of your attack power, which even on some of the best geared players is extremely low. So I don't see that being used, or there's no point really DPSing to heal. So it's better off just to focus on healing, and, you know, that is a button to press if there's no damage, I suppose. But I'd rather be firing off mass suppressions just because I love the feel of, you know, channeling this massive dust cloud forward. But I'm probably going on about how much I love that ability a tad too much. Now, the final damaging ability that you have as Liberator, which, for the love of me, I cannot pronounce, is called Show Me of Pain, and like I probably said that all wrong, so I'll type it out on the screen so you guys can correct me on the pronunciation. But what it does is it deals damage to all nearby enemies, and the damage is fairly low, and it doesn't really matter. It's like 3k in my gear, so it's nothing at all. But it also heals up to 10 party members for a very small amount. So again, I don't really see the use in that, and it doesn't really synergize well with the other two attacking abilities that the Liberator has, because those two you can be from range, but for the finisher you need to run in melee, and I don't see any need for it to be in melee. So I don't really get it. It seems a bit odd, but once again, ladies and gentlemen, this soul is in its early days. Now I'm going to focus back on the video and stop the ramble on all the damaging abilities and how kind of useless I think most of them are. But, you know, well, we'll see. Feedback is always welcome, as I've learned. I think. So anyway, at the moment, as you can see, we're on the third boss in Triumph of the Dragon Queen. For those of you who don't know what Triumph of the Dragon Queen is, it is a 10-man raid in Storm Legion. Now we're in the third boss, Jolfarin, and as you may be able to tell, or may not be able to tell, I am currently solo healing this boss, as in I'm the only healer in this raid. We don't even have a bard or anybody supporting. It is just me providing this raw amount of HPS. Now, as you can see, it's just totally dominating Liberator. All you have to do, it's fairly straightforward to heal. You have to keep up your heal over time ability, known as Mass Casualty Response, which is the AoE hot I was talking about earlier, and then spam Group Assistance and use Deliverance as your AoE finisher, which is the big AoE heal. And then if the raid gets low or just needs a quick top up, I can quickly pop Ameliorate, and that'll just quickly top them back up to full health. So as you can see, even a noob like myself can grasp Liberator fairly quickly. But, you know, saying that, I am fairly used to healing these fights, so I do know when the spikes of damage are coming, and I can predict that fairly well. So that does give me a bit of an advantage. But one thing I just love about this spec is everything feels ridiculously smooth. Like, it's such a smooth spec to play. The free attack points make it just so fluid, and it's just very easy to transition from AoE healing to single target healing, because essentially, although the buttons change, you're kind of doing the same rotation. You know, you're keeping your hot up, you're spamming your heal, and then you're using your finisher. Now, there are a variety of cooldown finishers which provide shielding and also other various buffs to the raid, but I'm not going to talk too much in detail about abilities today. I'm doing a separate video sort of going further into the detail of functionality of abilities, how to manage attack points, etc., and all how that works at the moment. This is just kind of a first look explaining the basics, what I like, what I don't like, and at the moment I really like Liberator. It is a fun spec. It's easy, it's straightforward, it's kind of everything a warrior healer should be. One of the things that I really like about Liberator, which some people don't, and I can understand why, is it doesn't have any problems at all with power or energy or their resource. Literally, you can infinitely spam stuff, and it has no problems. Previously, you couldn't do this, because there was something called Medical Facility, which was a massive AoE cooldown, which would sort of drain your charge, and you could toggle it on and off, and it was stupidly overpowered, and it brought in all these, like, forum jokes, like, Medical Facility awaits you, which was sort of a tease thrown at anybody asking about sort of the new Warrior Soul, and a bit of an in-joke, because it was just so goddamn powerful. And taking this out, they've kind of, I really think it should be added in, but it should be lowered down a bit, because Medical Facility, what they've changed it to, is kind of a bit of a crappy cooldown. It's just, it's not very good, the cooldown that they replaced it with, and I think it really needs to be put back in its place. But that's just my opinion. It will change over time, but I'm very happy with the way that Warrior Healing is. Now, there are quite a few improvements and quality of life changes I would like to see for the Warrior, but that is what the PDS is for, the Public Test Shard. So, if you want to heal as a Warrior, get on there now, provide feedback, and take care, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to like, subscribe, and share the video, or just do whatever you want with it. If you have any requests, leave them in the comments below. I love video requests. They're amazing. As I said, doing more on the Liberator, doing soul tree and ability videos, so stay tuned for those. Thank you once again for watching, guys, and take care.